It's tournament season at First, and the next big one at Santa Anita, Gulfstream and Express Bet is the Ultimate Betting Challenge this Saturday, March the 2nd. The Ultimate Betting Challenge features every race at Gulfstream Park on Fountain of Youth Day and Santa Anita Park on Big Cap Day, making it a coast-to-coast betting extravaganza. Buy in for $6,000, $5,000 live bankroll, and compete against players from around the country for massive cash prizes and NHC seats. First, we'll seed 4 NHC seats to the prize pool, and all cash entry fees will be distributed back as prizes. At 150 players, that's $150,000 in cash prizes, plus those 4 NHC seats. Play in the UBC on site at Gulfstream or Santa Anita, or jump in online with ExpressBet. Head over to expressbet.com/tournaments for more information and to register to play. Hi everybody, Dan Illman and Mike Beer taking a look at the DRF race of the day for Thursday, February the 29th, race number 8 at Gulfstream Park. 2-turn maiden special weight for 3-year-olds, 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Let's take a peek at this field. 9 entered, including the number 1, Co-Invest, who sold for $1.1 million as a yearling and debuted on turf.
Debuted on turf. He's got that's a little interesting too, Dick, because he's got plenty of dirt in his pedigree. I wonder if that was a distance thing, though. I wonder if Pletcher wanted to get this horse with some distance to work with.
He ran very well in that race, just missing by a neck, and we'll throw up the time form U.S. pace projector. Co-Invest showed speed in that race, but so did the number 9, the man up front. This horse has been on the lead in his last 6 starts, and you got to think from this outside post, Louis Tsai, as an aggressive rider, is going.
They had the outside post in his turf debut last time, Dan. They just sent him from the gate. He had no trouble clearing to the early lead. I think it'll be harder for him to get there against this field.
Let's start things off with the number 1, Co-Invest, the 7-figure yearling. He was dismissed at 6-1 for his debut. He ran quite well. He showed good speed down towards the inside. He's going to fight gamely to just miss by a neck. He's got a strong pedigree, obviously. He's a half to Wit, who's a multiple Grade 3 stakes winner. Good on either surface. Barkley, I think, won the Long Acres Mile. He could easily win this race at a shorter price.
Yeah, he's going to be a short price this time. He did run well enough, though, in that debut that I think you want to take his chances pretty seriously, especially from the rail, Dan. More than anything else, he ran well in that race, but it had the feeling of a pretty good maiden race on the turf. There were several really well-bred horses in that race, and the winner, of course, for Bill Mott, over from England off of a pretty good debut.
And the number 2 is Asserter. He's one of 2 in this race, trained by George Weaver. This is a first-time starter who sold well twice. $225,000 weanling, $310,000 yearling by McLean's Music, 15% with debut winners, 10% with turf routers. Dam's a half to a multiple stakes winning dirt runner. Don't see a ton of turf in the female family, but this horse sold for a lot of money twice.
He did. I didn't love the pedigree for this kind of a race, Dan. I guess we'll just see what happens. I respect Weaver. He can have a first-time starter ready to go, too. So if he's going to debut him on this surface, maybe it's a good sign. I just didn't like this horse's pedigree for this race.
The number 3 is Agape Moo, coming off a little bit of a layoff, adding Lasix and moving from synthetic to turf. It's only raced once on the turf. That was a sprint race in the career debut. It's quite possible we just draw a line through that one. He was against a decent field last time out at Turfway Park, with the runner-up returning to graduate for Brad Cox with a 68 buyer.
I thought this horse was pretty interested in this race at a price, and I definitely want to use him. The only time they tried to go long on turf with him at Keeneland, he had a big excuse that day with broken equipment. His 2 synthetic races are pretty good. He's bred to be turf horse on the dam side, and those 2 synthetic races are pretty good. Last time, they just tried to rate him and take him back and sit and make one run, and that wasn't that kind of race. The horse that won it was on the lead the entire way at a big price.
The number 4 is Oscar Worthy, second-time starter trained by Brian Lynch. Drew the rail for his career debut, going 2 turns. Saved ground in mid-pack. I thought he was kind of over and behind horses in the stretch. I'm not sure he really had a chance to strut his best stuff. I don't think he would have won with a perfect trip, but I think it was an excellent learning experience.
I'm going to agree with all that stuff. I mean, that's the kind of race that was sort of up for grabs in the stretch. It felt like any one of 6 or 7 horses could have won that race. And this horse just didn't do enough ultimately, but it's not like he had a perfect trip in there. I suspect he's going to run a lot better in this race.
The number 5 is Bivol, and this horse is bred to go long, and they debuted him going 5/8 on the turf, and he was a big price, and he outran his odds, running an even 5th. Maybe this guy will show some tactical speed stretching out second time out.
I think there's a case to be made that he'll just be way better with some distance underneath him here, Dan. He tried to get forward in that sprint race, and he just didn't have that kind of speed. He lost a spot. He got shuffled back around the turn, but he was still trying to race on through the stretch.
Puckster is the number 6 going out for trainer Dale Romans. He made his debut at Churchill Downs during the fall, did not do much at long odds, now switches to the weeds and adds Lasix. He's by Street Sense, 11% winners with Turf Ratters. The dam failed to win from 2 turf starts, but she's a half to a graded stakes winning turf sprinter, graded stakes place turf sprinter surprise boss.
Yeah, I didn't really love the pedigree for this horse though. This horse did absolutely no running at a huge price in the sloppy track debut, and I'm not sure that switching to turf is a great sign for this horse.
Conversely, I think the 7 Live High, Live Low is really going to appreciate moving to the grass. This is the other Weaver train runner, debuted on dirt at Gulfstream, ran okay that day, didn't really do too much, but from a turf standpoint, the dam was grade 2 placed, going a mile on the grass. She's foaled 3 runners on the turf, 2 of them have won.
Yeah, and the second dam is a sister to Better Talk Now, who won the Breeders' Cup Turf. I mean, there's a ton of turf pedigree here. This is another horse who just didn't have a ton of speed, did not have sprint speed in that debut, and couldn't keep up with those horses. More distance here, surface switch. This horse is dangerous.
The 8 is hanging in there, and while he's by Bernardini, a sire that we do not like on turf, he's also a half-brother to Extravagant Kid, who won that Group 1 race sprinting in Dubai. He made his debut at Kentucky Downs. Some horses just don't handle it. It looks like a good race. He produced 3 next out winners, the 3rd-place finisher scoring a maiden at Woodbine with a 75 buyer. Now he gets Lasix for the first time. He'll be a price for Joe Orsino.
Yeah, he should be. I mean, the bad performances at Kentucky Downs are the easiest ones to just want to forgive. I don't even really care about that race, so maybe you just sort of treat him as a first-time starter. And here, I will say, I'm a little turned off that he was 60-1 in the debut. Like, they didn't think he could run at all.
The number 9 is the man up front who made his turf debut in this race. As Mike mentioned, he broke from the far outside post. He really had no problems clearing off to the lead in the rail. The pace was reasonable. He's going to dig in to run a fine second. I wonder if the field he faces on Thursday is a little tougher than this one, but he's got speed and he's going to be a good price. And his fig from this race rates fairly with some of the others in here.
Those things are all true. We'll see where he settles ultimately at post time. I wouldn't take the 5-1 on him because as well as he ran last time, he had no excuse in that race. And this might be a much tougher field.
Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Let's take a look at our top picks for Wednesday's race of the day. Co-Invest is just way the horse to beat off of his debut. He doesn't even need the lead to win. He might tuck into a great spot stalking that 9, who might provide a really good target.
Yeah, he might. I reluctantly took him in here. He's going to be a short price. I just feel like it's a good spot for him, and his debut was fine. So I put him on top 10. The 3 and the 7 to me are the interesting launches. I'm going to try to get them in there with the 1.
I'm not sure we saw the best from Oscar Worthy in his debut again because he was kind of in behind horses in the stretch. Maybe he'll show normal second out improvement. Maybe the 1 and the 9 just happened to go at it a little bit. I'll give him one more chance, although I must admit 3-1 just seems a little bit light against the likes of Co-Invest. 1374 for Mike, 4915 for me. It's the DRF race of the day for February the 29th. It's a Thursday, race 8 at Gulfstream. Good luck.